Okay, so in today's video about QNT, we are going to check out the live chart and see what is going on. And I do think that we are potentially having some bullish signs there in the short term. But before that, we are going to talk about the potential supply shock that we can have in QNT. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And according to this tweet from Sebastian, which by the way, I do suggest to give him a follow. He does actually make great contents about Quant. And in this tweet, he says the exchange supply decreases even further to a new all-time low at about 1.3 million tokens, meaning only about 8% of the total supply actually right now is on exchanges. Now, here's a very important point, and I have talked about this subject so many times. The fact that supply on exchanges are very low, in fact, they are right now at all-time low, in my opinion, can be a fantastic sign suggesting that investors do not want to sell their QNT token and they are in this market for the long run. This is a great sign. But if you want to argue that just because of this, we are going to have a massive move up in QNT, that may not be necessarily true. You see, the price in every single chart determined by supply and also demand at the same time. Meaning, if the supply is down and also at the same time demand is down, well, unfortunately, at that point, you might see even some more downward price action. On the other hand, if the supply is down and at the same time demand, let's say it's actually relatively stable, okay, at that point you are going to see an increase in price. Now, in another situation, if supply is down and you're going to reach to a point where demand is going to be up big time, at that point you are going to see some massive moves on the upside. So what's the point that I'm trying to make? You see, in QNT, right now we are at around $100, and the fact that the supply on exchanges are kind of at all-time lows, in my opinion, suggests that right in here is probably a great area for buying for, you know what, the long term. However, based on that, if you want to say from here we're going to get a sharp move on the upside, well, unfortunately, we cannot really say that for sure because the demand has to be there. However, here's a very important point. Let's go on CoinMarketCap. Okay, so at the moment, we are at rank 74 with the total market cap of about $1.17 billion. Now, given the fact that right now only 1.3 million tokens are on exchanges, this means, listen to this, if we see only and only $130 million capital buying Quant, at that point, you are going to have 0 token on exchanges. So what's the point that I'm trying to make? I think we can definitely make a beautiful case for having a potential supply shock in QNT, and that might happen when we get some sort of a narrative. What that narrative is going to be about, I'm not really sure, but I promise you, when the time is right, the narrative is going to show up and you are going to see some beautiful sharp moves on the upside in QNT. So overall, we are having positive news. The fact that the supply on exchanges are at all-time lows is, in my opinion, a good sign, but we just need to be a bit more patient. Now, let's zoom in more and see what is going on in the short term in this area. So here's a very important point. I do think that these lows are actually kind of looking juicy. So in case that we get, again, I'm going to say it, another move down in order to take these lows, I want you to remain absolutely calm. There is nothing to be worried about in QNT. At that point, we're just going to say, you know what, maybe this is going to be like an A, B, C in form of an expanded flat. And I fully still stand by what I said. I believe there is like a very high chance that the bottom in Quant is in, and on a higher degree, this is the wave 1, followed by that correction is rushing into wave 2, and after our correction is over, or who knows, maybe I'm wrong and it's over already, we are going to have a great move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5, and you are going to see a magnificent bull run in QNT in this cycle. Now, if you like classic patterns, I'm not really sure if you like them, but if you do, I guess this can be a rising wedge structure. Excuse me, let's just draw the lines, and there we go, something like this. But here's the thing, in case that you see a break of the upper line and then we go at the same time above this level, do a pullback and a continuation of the move up, that's actually going to be an unbelievably bullish pattern, which I'm going to talk about it in the next video, because I am kind of suspicious that we may have in here a beautiful bullish setup. But again, in the interest of not really getting your hopes up that much, I'm not really going to talk about it in today's video. That's going to be the subject for the next QNT update. For now, I need you to have your eyes on this rising wedge and see, are we going to get soon a break of the upper line, pullback, and a continuation of the move up or not? If we do this, that is going to be a fantastic sign. What if we get a break of the lower line? At that point, again, I told you, we may even go down and take these lows, which the lowest low in this case is going to be somewhere around, let's say like $83.50. But at that point in here, I'm expecting a very strong bounce back in QNT. Now, let's go on some higher time frames and see what is going on in terms of indicators, and then wrap up today's video. So what is happening in weekly charts? As you can see, in MACD, unfortunately, we are having a sell signal, and in S-Stock RSI, the situation is pretty much the same. However, pay attention to this. In S-Stock RSI, we are actually getting to around the oversold area, which suggests that bears are actually running out of power. And I'm going to show you some more evidence suggesting that this move on the downside doesn't really have a whole lot of power anymore, and soon we are hopefully going to get a very strong bounce back. But if you want to go according to indicators and you do not want to be involved in any kind of short-term price action, I would like to suggest to wait a bit more until you see a buy signal in MACD and S-Stock RSI at the same time. And if you want to be even more confident about QNT being bullish in the midterm, wait a bit more and see, are we going to get a move up in order to take this high about, let's say like $135 or not? If we do this, that's actually going to be, in my opinion, the ultimate bullish sign. So in terms of indicators, by the looks of it at least, we're not really necessarily in a good place in weekly time frame. However, again, according to S-Stock RSI, bears are kind of running out of power. Now, what about daily time frame? In here, the situation is a bit different, because in MACD, we are having a buy signal. However, in S-Stock RSI, first things first, we are around the overbought region. And second, we are having a confirmed sell signal. So what's the play in here? I'm going to say, again, once more, we may see a move down because of a stochastic RSI, but because of MACD having a buy signal, this move down may not really be that strong. And soon you might see a very strong bounce back. And here is a hidden bullish signal for you. Let's just get rid of a stock RSI. So here's the thing, by the looks of it, we're not really having a bullish divergence in here between our EMAs. However, pay attention to momentum, meaning this histogram. If I just zoom in more, okay, so what do we have? On the live chart, this is a low. The other one is a lower low. However, in MACD, in momentum, we are having a low. The other one is a higher low. So I'm gonna say, between momentum in MACD and the price chart, we are actually having a bullish divergence. And because this is between momentum and the price chart, it means, once more, you know it, bears are actually running out of power. And even if we're going to get a move down in QNT, and in that move, for example, let's say even we're going to take the lowest low down here about $72, I do not believe that we are going to go a whole lot lower. And again, I want to be very clear, that's not going to be my primary case. My primary scenario for now, and as long as I'm not seeing any evidence suggesting otherwise, says that this is actually our final bottom in QNT. And this is indeed a correction structure. And if I just do this, okay, on a higher degree, I'm thinking we may have 5 wave up into a wave 1, correction into wave 2. And after our correction is over, which I do think hopefully it's over already, we are going to see a beautiful move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And trust me, you are not ready for what is about to come in QNT in the midterm, because usually in terms of Elliott waves, wave 3 is quite a big move. So you can even argue that just and only in this wave, we are going to set an all-time high and take the highest high around $450. I think that can be actually a valid argument. So overall, in terms of midterm structures, we are looking great. In terms of indicators in weekly charts, maybe we're not looking necessarily optimistic just for the short term, but in MACD in daily time frame, it seems like that bears do not really have a whole lot of power anymore. And this is not specific for QNT. No, in a lot of altcoins and also Bitcoin, the situation is kind of the same, meaning the downsides are quite limited. However, on the upside, we can have some insane moves. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in QNT. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.